りをつけろ。天国地獄大地獄天国地獄大地獄
Vocal percussion on a whole nother level coming from my mind.
You know what, yeah? Even though Mario was the antagonist of last week's episode, the gang did him dirty. Like, they really manhandled his head, and then to make it worse, he had to witness that dance routine. What the hell? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, guys. Welcome back to Otaku Chris Is Talking. This is going to be a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind episode 7. 6 Bullet appears part 1. Wow, that was quite a lengthy title, but just to make it easier, this is pretty much for episode 7 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind, and I found this episode pretty exciting. You know what? This episode, I feel like Hirokoshi Sensei, one thing that he does well is he knows how to give enough limelight on the different characters. Last week we focused on Bruno and Leone, and this week we focus on Mista and Jojo, and I'm guessing that next week is probably going to finish off that little kind of the whole situation they're currently in this episode with the guy going off in the freaking truck. But after that, I'm pretty certain that we'll probably get the other two characters as well and see their stands and what they're about. Once again, Jojo proves his loyalty to the gang, and not just to the gang, but mostly to Leone, because this guy still doesn't trust him that much. And you know what? I'm not gonna lie, as a gang member, you should be quite cautious, but I would have thought by now, come on Leone, give our boy Jojo some slack. Now in this episode, Jojo pretty much proves his loyalty once more by giving himself up as tribute to go and fight this gang member who he doesn't know what he looks like, he doesn't know what the stand ability is, and this could be literally the most dangerous part of the mission. You can either stay on the boat and continue off, or you can go and apprehend the gang member who's waiting, because I was going to say our boy Mario, Mr. Mario, man, Mario, I feel so sorry for you, not because I feel sorry for you, but because I feel sorry for the guys, because the guys are gonna fuck you up. These are not the heroes that you deserve. These main characters are not fucking around. They honestly don't care, and in a weird way, I kind of like that, and I like that. It's just so bizarre. What was that dance sequence about? But it just felt right for JoJo. If in any other series, it'd be like, what the hell? But in JoJo, it just felt in place, and to make it worse, my man had to suffer through all of that. Mario, I bet you freaking I bet you regret going after the MCs, huh? Now I like this episode as well, purely because we got to see another stand ability, and this time we got to see Guido Mista, I think it was, yeah, that's his name, his stand ability, and quite interesting. It does remind me of Kiichi Nijimura's Bad Company from season 4, and as well as what's his name again, or Yangu's Harvest. Yeah, so if you type in Harvest versus Bad Company, I actually didn't mind that, but it was different because they weren't like the usual huge humanoid fights. But that fight did remind me of Mr. Stand ability 6 Bullets, just with how random and wacky they were. Maybe not in as grand in numbers, but extremely powerful. Now Mr. uses his revolver to in tandem with the stand bullets, which is kind of crazy, because I was thinking, oh wait, so is the revolver the stand, like Whole Horse, whatever? Not Whole Horse, that's season 3, but basically I was wondering whether the gun was going to be the stand, but it wasn't. It was actually not. It wasn't even the bullets. It was these humanoid things that attached themselves to the bullet, which, interesting, great writing. I'm always wondering, how is Hirokoshi Sensei coming up with these stand abilities? And not just that, like, they require some special treatment. They actually have a personality of their own, which, this is JoJo, I'm not surprised by anything anymore, but But I was surprised. I was like, what? Especially when Mista was like, look, I'm gonna take a lunch break, and I was like, what? What are you doing? And you can tell that Jojo was not happy about that shit. Jojo, his eyes all blacked out, and he was literally just like, what the fuck is this guy on about? We are about to apprehend this motherfucker, and you're out here setting up tables, making lunch. Hirikoshi did have he did go a bit in with making freaking Mista bring out the whole table and a knife and fork and everything, considering none of that was going to matter because he was just going to be given the salami pieces straight to Six Pistols. But hey, almost to the point where I thought, damn, these stands, because there's a few of them. It's one stand, but there's a few of them. But these stands, or this stand, is quite a little princess. It needs to be pampered. It doesn't like to feel like it's a pet, like it's a stand. It likes to feel like it's its own entity, and in a weird way, I kind of like that because I feel like that kind of stuff can help build a relationship and a bond between the stand user and the stand themselves. One thing which I really liked about this stand was how powerful it was. Now, it may not seem powerful in a kind of way that you can expect of or Jono's one, or like any of the other freaking stands in the series. But what was pretty nice, it was how intricate and detailed the stand's ability is. It's like, okay, cool. If you have a bullet, when Mista shoots his gun, these little humanoid stand things, the 6 bullets, can literally change the trajectory of the bullets, which is pretty messed up, because this literally means if you know that this guy's on some certain angle that you can't do the bend the bullet thing from one end, you can literally use that stand to ping, 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 reach them from any angle. So I really loved seeing how the stand was used in this episode, and it kind of makes me wonder if this can be used on other weapons as well, whether it's just going to be used on a gun. Could it happen on a rocket launcher, or is it because the bullet in that is, the rocket in that is way too big? Can it only be can it only be used on a pistol, or can it be used on a shotgun, or can it be used on a rifle? All these kind of questions are things just like, I'm intrigued. Obviously, I don't want to know the answers because this is probably something we'll get to know in this series later on. We also got to see Leone stand once more, only for a little bit, just to replay the scene that Mario was up to on the boat on the last week's episode, but we never got to see. So I like that, because now we'll always get to see some of the stuff that happens off panel that may not make sense, but Leone's stand ability, it almost adds to the plot, which I really like. And I feel like this is the kind of thing that a lot of mangakas don't really know how to write these kind of sequences in. But Hirikoshi sensei, he's just I don't know what he's doing, but he's doing the right thing. We did also see a glimpse of Bruno's stand as well. I say a glimpse, it was pretty much Bruno's stand was the reason why that body of Mario's was getting bodied up, and Mario's head was elsewhere. I was like, what? Wait, how are you surviving? But then I remembered, how was Bruno able to do the stuff to Jono in episode 1, and how was Jono even episode 2, and how was Jono even able to survive that whole freaking shenanigan anyway? So I'm guessing that same effect is happening on this. If you guys watch One Piece, I think it's possibly the same thing as Trafalgar Law's ability, where when he cuts him in half, when he cuts people in pieces, they still stay alive, which is also pretty painful, but they can still feel the effects and all the pain that the other body parts of theirs, which are obviously separated, are being dealt with. Sorry, the damage that the body parts are being dealt with. What's wrong with me? I totally forgot. Like, I omitted a whole section of that. In conclusion, I feel like this episode was really cool because we got to have a bit more plot progression. We got to see other more stands. We got to see the team, the Passion gang, kind of work together, do this weird ass dance routine, which I'm like, whoa, what's that got to do with anything? And do you think Jono will actually end up doing the dance routine later on? The way that Jojo is, I wouldn't be surprised if he just does it in the next freaking episode. This episode also worked on teamwork as well. So right now it's been 2s on 2s, which is pretty cool. But I wouldn't mind seeing maybe 3s, or maybe just like all of them work together. And I want to eventually see how OP these villains are and how crazy these stand abilities will get in this series. Because for the past for the past 2 series, these stands have been getting madder and madder. Season 3 was freaking crazy with Jotaro, and last season with yeah, was just mad. So yeah, what I want to know is your thoughts on this episode. Did you enjoy this episode? Obviously there's a whole plot point which was behind this, but there's no point in me telling you the plot point when you can just watch the episode yourselves. So what I want you guys to know is, what did you think of this episode? Do you guys think that Mista and Jojo have great teamwork? And actually, last question for you guys. Which two JoJos from what we've seen so far would you want to team up? So you know what I'm saying? Even if it's Jonathan Joestar and Jojo, let's say, I know totally different timelines, but even if it was them two together, which two would you want to work together, and then which two villains would you want to work together? Because I don't know, I'm always thinking of that kind of stuff, because obviously Jonathan's from a totally different time, but so is Jojo, which is also pretty cool. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this JoJo review. I do make regular JoJo Bizarre Adventures videos, as well as 7 Deadly Sins videos regularly throughout the week. So if you enjoy those kind of videos, hope you return, hope you subscribe. Let's try and hit 1,000 subscribers, and I will see you guys soon. Peace.